Namaste, beautiful souls watching. Welcome and thank you. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this is about Taygeta, Pleijadians, the Galactic Federation, and Betrayal. I had this on my mind for quite a while, and I think I already mentioned in some of my other videos, my older videos, that I myself do not really trust the Galactic Federation. And I was so happy to see that recently Dr. Michael Salla in his Exopolitics channel talked about the betrayal of the Galactic Federation. So as I resonate very much in my heart with Taygetan Pleijadians, and I sometimes listen to Mari Swaaru from Taygeta. I do not follow anyone, and I only listen to a few to keep my own channel clear and not get front-loaded by whatever others put out there. But from time to time, I listen here and there to several people or channels that I resonate with and that feel kind of true to me. So I heard Mari Swaaru in her channel talking about the infiltration of their star system in Taygeta, the Pleiadian star system, by the Earth Cabal or Deep State, or however you want to call these shadowy figures. They even had to remove their whole council because it was infiltrated by Earth Cabal and the Deep State. They even found Earth Cabal members living in Taygeta, like in, some holiday resort or something like that. So since a while, Marie is talking about the infiltration, and they're constantly under attack because, the earthly deep state minions with their hopefully removed overlords now, the Draco-Reptilians and the Orion Greys, they start and try to infiltrate the Pleiadian star system just for quite a while. And obviously they managed. And I thought for myself, you hear all these rosy colored stuff about the Galactic Federation doing this and that for us Earth humans. And I doubt that an organization which is militarily oriented from a certain kind of size on is not infiltrated by, let's say, the adversary force. So I heard all this rosy-colored stuff, but there was nothing tangible or visible happening here on Earth, because whatever they did in their councils, and as Dolores Cannon also wrote in her books, there's councils over councils, and for me as a trained medium, it is quite hard to get a real name, because what the telepathic information you get, you have to kind of bring out in our language, which is based on words. So it's quite difficult to get the right names or words, and I don't bother about that. So, there's the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Galactic Confederation of Planets and the Federation of Light and whatever, It's just confusing, all these councils over councils. But as far as I got it, the Galactic Federation of Worlds is more militarily oriented. And just looking at the Earth military in whatever country, What is their motto? What's their agenda? It is always the same because of the militarian orientation. It is attack and defend, and deceive and cloak. So I don't think that is very much different in all these kind of galactic worlds or realms. Everything militarily oriented is kind of following the same agenda. And I'm not too fond of the militarian agenda. There's also a council, I think it's the Confederation of Planets, the Galactic Confederation of Planets, that is much more spiritually oriented. And that makes more sense to me because well, after all my experiences, I am about the personal transformation, which in my eyes is the only thing that is important for you and me and for everyone else. What does it help you to know that a council somewhere said this or did that? You have to follow your own inner workings, clear and heal all the traumatic stuff and the brainwashing and programming, and it seems to never end. I'm still busy with that. Sometimes something's popping up, and well, then I have to go and heal again and clear again and whatever. So we have to grow in the kind of trinity of body, soul and spirit, also not only technically, which our technical evolution or development at the moment is going very fast. We also have to grow in balance spiritually, and also our body has to follow all these higher energies coming in from our sun. So it's always, to me, about a balance. That's why I love the Buddha. He is about balance as well, the way of the middle. The extremes never lead to something fruitful. So I was not really surprised, but I really appreciated that Dr. Salla talked about this kind of betrayal. Because if the Galactic Federation of Worlds is infiltrated by Earth shadowy figures, as well as nearly every organization from a certain size on, well, of course, they are following their agenda, and they were very permissive to a lot of stuff happening here on Earth, as Mari Swaaru stated. And I had the same feeling, because still people are dying from cancer, people are starving, and all kind of calamities. Since 70 or 80 years, there were scientists who found out that you can shatter and dissolve cancer cells if you use frequencies between a certain range, between, I think, 100,000 and 300,000 hertz. So, why isn't that out in the public, helping people with cancer? No, we're still bombarding them with chemicals, and the pharmaceutical or medicine industry is not allowing these new or already old findings of better methods to deal with cancer. So this permissiveness of the Galactic Federation of Worlds already raised my suspicion since a while, and when I listened to something like that from them, from another channeler or whatever, even Elena Danan, I always was very careful, and I kind of looked behind the scenes and sensed into it, and I really distrusted all of that, more or less. So now finally Dr. Salla brought it out, and I can only agree, because it matches my feeling and what I sensed about this whole theme. it is more fruitful, I think, to care about spiritual development. And I mean, look at the world. You can see where the military attitude has brought us to and where we are right now. So even the rescue missions that the Taygetans still do, they told that from out of subterranean dumps from the military or the shadow government, the deep state, they do not only rescue out of there humans, but also humans from other planets, even from the Pleijades and Taygeta, and it's mostly young women or young girls and kids. So this trait about human trafficking is kind of a hard thing to swallow, but it's seemingly still going on. Not as much as it was before, but there's still a lot of underground dumps where people are held captive and for whatever shadowy reason. And they're transported to other locations and experimented on, and all this horrible stuff is done to living, breathing people from wherever, Doesn't have to be always Earth, it can be other planets. There are planets around us that are not yet in our stage of development, societal scene, or they are not even into kind of how's it called, this in the 1900s, when we began on Earth with building fabrics and producing stuff en masse and stuff like that. They're not yet there, and others are even above. And still from there, people are abducted and held captive in Earth underground dumps. That's kind of crazy to me. How can they even manage to do that? So there's still a lot of stuff going on, while some sources in the internet only color everything in rosy. Now it's getting better. I don't see that it's getting better, and I don't feel that. But I know, because my guides, whom I really trust, tell me it will get better, but before it can better, sometimes it has to be worse, so that the hard-necked one can awaken if that comes out. And as Dr. Salla stated, that's my feeling as well. Disclosure is kind of slowed down, still denial and delay, the same old agenda that we could witness the last 70 or 80 years. The ridicule about people talking about ETs, UFOs, UAPs doesn't really work any longer, because there were too much sightings, and all the confusion with so-called flying orbs or whatever, that recently went on, all this kind of hassle in the sky that was just drones from probably our own military, again, to confuse the public and to reduce the attention that real UFO sightings get and confuse people so that they don't know what is what, which is which, who is who. And this is the cloak and deceive game of the militarian agenda still going on. So, this slowdown, I don't really like it, but okay, maybe we have to go through that. My guides tell me that by enduring 2020, this pandemic, COVID thing, humanity kind of readied itself for a non-catastrophic ascension. So we're really going towards a bright future, but it's still kind of tried to be delayed, although it cannot be delayed because it's also in the workings of the planets around us. Who's a little bit into astrology knows that there are a lot of constellations this year and planetary movements and coming together. That's really very special. And my guides told me as well that always the solstices are very special points in a year. And this year we already had one. And what is kind of slowed down that came out around our first solstice in this year, 2025? Well, the findings in Egypt under the pyramids, gigantic constructions of tunnels and stuff that humans could unimpossibly have built. But it's denied. Egypt is kind of a military country and no one talks about that. And I think they are also under the same kind of shadowy hand that tries to keep everything under the rag. And the second solstice, still to come in September, will bring out something else. So I'm very curious and waiting for September, what will come out then or what will show up. So we're in very interesting times. But as I really resonate very much with the Pleiadians and Taygetans, I already had my suspicions and distrusted this Galactic Federation stuff. So now it's out. They kind of sold us out as well because they are infiltrated as well by the Earth Cabal, the deep state minions that try to put their foot everywhere, even onto the Pleiadian star system and kind of live there, while we on Earth still have to endure a lot of stuff that is really, well, it's time that this ends. And I think everybody more or less wants that. And the war-mongering and fear-mongering is going on as well. You know, some of the sources I listened to earlier, I stopped listening because I see that their videos, their thumbnails get darker and darker, and the screaming headlines are all about World War III to keep people in fear. And my guides told me there will not be a World War III. I can see that they are trying and trying and trying, you know, but in the end it's not really working out, and I'm happy about that. Who needs another war? No one wants that. We're sick and tired of that. I think as a humanity, you don't even have to be spiritual for that. So it's really time, and it's building up. The energy is building up and up and up. I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I couldn't because I felt somehow down, and there was a weird kind of energy that grabbed me, and I felt it, and it was a bit sad, and I didn't know what it was, but I was sure it was not mine. Maybe another wave going through the collective subconscious of humanity, who knows? I sometimes sense stuff like that, and I'm not sure what it is, but I can kind of decipher the quality of the feelings that I get. And it was sadness and frustration and kind of pulling down. So I said to myself, okay, yesterday that it's not the day, although I already felt, because I had this theme about the Galactic Federation betrayal and Taygeta, what's happening there in the Pleijades. I had this popping up since a few days, and that's always how I recognize if I have something on my mind and it's not going away until I make a video. That's kind of the sign of my guides. So this is the theme or topic for your next video, but I couldn't do it yesterday because I didn't feel really well and good enough or high vibrational to do it. Today is a new day, sun is shining and I feel much better, and today is the day. So here the energies match, so that's what I wanted to share with you yesterday, and so I share it with you today now. Don't give in, trust. There is a plan. 2025 is the year. That's what my guides say, and some others as well. Have faith. It might be a bit delayed because the adversary forces try to delay what they cannot stop because it's unstoppable. We're on an ascension timeline, the best possible for humanity, and it's non-catastrophic. Although there are still some activities going on, like weird weather symptoms and volcanic activities and stuff like that. That is how the earth prepares and cleanses herself for the ascension, to get lighter, to get rid of all the stuff that's kind of pulling down and is toxic or just not working, not functioning, not fruitful any longer. So the old energy has to go and the new is already coming in. Sometimes I'm even tired after waking up in the morning because my body has to kind of adapt to higher frequencies as well, but that's a normal kind of ascension symptom, and a lot of people have that, so I'm not alone. And you don't have to feel alone because of that. If you kind of feel the same and go through the same, have faith. We're on our way and it is unstoppable, and it will lead to a non-catastrophic ascension. Just one starseed or light soul living somewhere positioned on Earth. If you stay calm and go within in your inner silent space into your connection with your soul, your higher self via your heart, you kind of lift up nearly a radius of 1,000 kilometers around you just by your vibration. Whatever you do, if you stay calm, you meditate, you do a breathing exercise, or even do a little Agnihotra fire ritual in your garden, this has more power in the invisible than you might imagine. My guides showed me that this one little light of one light soul meditating is radiating out 1,000 kilometers around where the person is positioned. That's why all the starseeds are positioned around the Earth. Some have to move, some are already in the right spot, and we're kind of breathing out and radiating a lighter energy and more joy and happiness and calmness and stillness and going within. This affects not only nature and the animals around. I can notice and watch and observe how the animals react, and they are different in my garden than how they behave in the gardens of others. That's very interesting to me as well. So obviously, without me knowing, I'm radiating out light. Well, that's fine. You do that as well. And together, united, we are on the same page. We want a world more in joy, bliss, and happiness, where everyone comes together, unites, and shares. And we're just walking, marching towards oneness. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Blessings, love and light to you, beautiful souls on your soul path. Bye.